Hey guys, so Hollywood star Shia LaBeouf has been in the news after his recent conversion to Catholicism. But before we get into details, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell if you don't want to miss any of our videos. Also, if you have any questions about the faith that you need answers to, let us know in the comments below. Okay, so Shia LaBeouf, who had been famous for his roles in movies like the Transformers, converted to Catholicism after he played the role of Padre Pio in the 2022 biopic Padre Pio. The controversial star allegedly had a change of heart during his preparation for the role. Here's him talking about that experience a year ago.
My opinion about God before my world had crumbled was art, love, and God, they all mean the same thing. They're synonymous. And I had also been told my whole life, your life is your life. You have to make with it what you can, you know? You gotta be a good guy, and then you gotta get married, and then you gotta get a house, and you gotta get a job, and do good at your job, and like, your life is your life, and things will work out if you put effort in, and I always really felt that. And it made it hard to believe in God, because it felt like my managerial skills are what are going to amount to a fulfilled existence. When all of my designs failed, when all of my plans went out the window, when my life had led to serious infliction of pain and damage on other people, I threw up my hands like, my plans are garbage and I don't want to be here anymore. Pain made me willing to go about this in a different way than I had previously. The news that had come out has been like I've been abusive to women, and I've been shooting dogs, and I've been willingly giving women STDs, and like it's disgusting. It's depraved. I felt deep shame, deep guilt, shame like I had never experienced before. Kind of shame you forget how to breathe. It was seeing other people who had sinned beyond anything I could even conceptualize also being found in Christ that made me feel like, okay, well, that gives me hope. I started hearing experiences of other like depraved people who had found their way in this. The gospel gave me this invite to just let go. I came from the school of God helps those who helps themselves. That's not what I found. God comes to those who ask. That's what I've experienced.
The entire process of preparation for the role, as well as his experience of the beauty of the Mass, moved him to convert to Catholicism. Here's him talking about how his understanding of how Saint Padre Pio celebrating the Mass affected him.
And it's an emotional experience. It's not just the tradition of it. It's not just the ritual of it. It's an entire journey that he goes through. He's exhausted at the other end. He's sweating. He's dripping. He's crying. There's snot. It's like the man went to battle. He went to war, and it feels like there's a death that happens and a resurrection, and it's extremely emotional, which is how he touched people.
Now, some of those who have no doubt been influential in his conversion have been the Capuchin Friars and Bishop Barron. Here's a clip from a video about his journey with them.
We help them come to know God through our example as living as brothers, but also through talking about the faith and about Padre Pio.
It was kind of a culmination of a journey. You know, I met Shia a couple years ago and then watched him as he made his way toward the church and the faith and under the guidance of Padre Pio. And then to bring it to a culmination today, because he received First Communion and Confirmation, so now is fully initiated member of the Catholic Church.
This is a wonderful testimony for sure. His confirmation sponsor, Capuchin brother Alexander Rodriguez, even shared that Shia desires to join the Diaconate sometime in the future. While this is great news and of course something for Catholics to be excited about, it's something we need to be wary of too. Is Shia rushing into his decision? Is the call to become a deacon something to be taken lightly? To answer this, let's first look at what the role of a deacon is in the Catholic Church. While most people are probably familiar with the role of a priest or a bishop, the role of a deacon is something that isn't as well known. The word deacon comes from the Greek word diakonia, meaning service, ministry, and support. The Catechism says the following about the mission of the Diaconate. Deacons share in Christ's mission and grace in a special way. The sacrament of holy orders marks them with an imprint character which cannot be removed and which configures them to Christ, who made himself the deacon or servant of all. In the Catholic Church, the deacons are members of the clergy who are called to assist the priests and bishops. During the Mass, deacons can assist at the altar, help distribute the Holy Communion, and proclaim and preach the Gospel. They can also assist in baptisms, in the blessing of marriages, and at funerals. The concept of the diaconate is not something new. The first institution of the office of deacon is found in the book of Acts, when Saint Stephen along with 6 others are appointed deacons. St. Paul also mentions deacons in 2 of his letters. In Philippians 1, he addressed the letter to bishops and deacons. In the second letter to Timothy, he goes into detail on the role of deacons. He writes, Deacons likewise must be serious, not double-tongued, not addicted to much wine, not greedy for gain. They must hold the mystery of the faith with a clear conscience, and let them also be tested first. Then if they prove themselves blameless, let them serve as deacons. The women likewise must be serious, no slanderers, but temperate, faithful in all things. Let deacons be the husband of one wife, and let them manage their children and their households well. For those who serve well as deacons gain a good standing for themselves and also great confidence in the faith which is in Jesus Christ. Again, in the Didache, an early church document written around 70 to 90 AD, it states, "You must then elect for yourselves bishops and deacons who are a credit to the Lord, men who are gentle, generous, faithful, and well-tried, for their ministry to you is identical with that of the prophets and teachers. You must not therefore despise them, for along with the prophets and teachers, they enjoy a place of honor among you." Another early church father, Saint Polycarp, who was the disciple of Saint John the Apostle and a martyr and bishop of the church, had this to say about deacons. The deacons should be blameless before his righteousness, as servants of God and Christ, and not of men, not slanderers or double-tongued, not lovers of money, temperate in all matters, compassionate, careful, living according to the truth of the Lord, who became a servant of all. So, what can we learn about the diaconate from these letters? In all of them, the advice is clear. A deacon must not only be someone who is committed to the cause of Christ, but disciplined and blameless before God. These early church documents emphasize the importance of choosing someone who has truly lived out their faith, someone who has been tested and proved themselves worthy of the calling, someone who is well tried and has been living according to the truths of Christ. So, how does this apply to Shia? He has spent the last few years in a lot of personal turmoil. He's had a few ups but many serious lows as well. Through this journey, God brought him to a point where he was finally ready to surrender it all and bring himself before God. According to him, his decision to convert was not just an intellectual decision but based on a deep faith experience that he had, especially among the Capuchin Friars. He was touched by Padre Pio's life and ministry and the celebration of the Mass. Now, as a new convert, everything about the faith seems liberating, exciting, fascinating, and genuinely fills you with awe. And that's not a bad thing at all. However, this is only the beginning. In fact, now is where the real struggle begins. How do you really live out your faith in the midst of challenges? How do you overcome vices or bad habits you've been struggling with in the past? How do you deal with critics or those who aren't convinced of your new lifestyle and belief system? These are all challenges that Shia will have to face in the upcoming days. Now, the journey of faith is never an easy one. So while the diaconate might be something he feels called to now, it might be wise for him to take some time to first live out his Catholic faith. In fact, as a general rule for all vocations, the Catholic Church generally advises recent converts to wait a few years to live out their Catholic faith before deciding on their vocation. This is to ensure that their decisions were not made rashly or without enough preparation. St. Paul in his letter to Timothy also explains that recent converts should not be chosen for the role of a bishop, since they could be puffed up with conceit and fall into condemnation. Even for someone who has been a Catholic for a long time, discerning a call to the diaconate or any other vocation for that matter takes time, prayer, and discussion with a spiritual director. You would need to get to know others who are already serving as deacons and spend time with them to really understand that vocation and the responsibility it entails. It is not something that should be done in haste and without adequate preparation. Instead, it would be better for him to take the time to live out his new identity as a Catholic and first understand his role in the church as a layperson. He can, of course, continue to learn about the faith, spend time nurturing the friendships he has made with the friars, and in general, deepen his devotion and love for Christ. And then maybe a few years from now, he can take the next step of his faith journey and fulfill his desire to become a deacon. So, what do you think about this? Should recent converts be allowed to join the vocation as soon as they convert? Or should they first live out as a Catholic for a while before making any such decisions? Let us know in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, let us know by liking and subscribing to our channel. It really helps us a lot. Until next time.